New this morning, police officers are sworn in to protect and serve, but not all officers are meeting the mark when it comes to public service. 10 Investigates tracked down troubled officers bouncing from job to job, leaving a mess in their wake. 10 TV's Jessa Goddard sat down with 10 Investigates' Paul Aker to give you an inside look at this story that'll debut tomorrow night right here on 10 TV. Jessa?
Thanks, Karina. Paul, I appreciate you joining me today. First off, this story uncovered several surprising reveals when it comes to cops trusted with a badge. How did this investigation begin?
It started when it came to light. People tipped us off that there were officers at least one department that had troubles in their background, and the person that sent us the tip seemed very troubled by the idea that they could be in such trouble elsewhere and then go to work at this department. And from there, we just started going.
So as you started looking into the records and seeing some trends, was there one community or several communities dealing with some of these troubled cops?
Definitely not just one community. It seemed like there are several communities in the area. If there was a pattern, it was probably maybe some of the smaller departments weren't doing as much diligence as the larger departments. That said, we do know that one gentleman in the story, an officer that had serious problems here in Central Ohio, did wind up and is now working at a sheriff's department north of here in a rather large community.
Wow. One thing people might not understand is how some of these officers were able to stay under the radar and get hired again and again. How was this allowed to happen?
Well, I think that's the real issue here, and that's the thing that troubles even police officers in many communities, is that that is the case. And the reason is that we found over and over again was whatever background checks there were whatever due diligence that should have been in place were failing, and things that were fairly easy to determine had happened in the past. The people that hired these officers simply weren't aware.
And you wonder if that's unique to law enforcement, or whether this occurs across the board. When we look at officers accused of bad business, what kind of change do you think this story could bring to police forces and other municipalities across Central Ohio?
Well, there is no standard right now, and I think there's some controversy about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The Fraternal Order of Police here locally told us that there are best practices that would certainly preclude the type of hires that we're talking about in this story. That said, there are no strict guidelines that would require agencies to follow those best practices. Some people would say that's a good thing because you don't want to lower the standard and pass a law for a lower standard. On the other hand, we see the type of results that we see in this story.
And we'll see some of those examples.
Right.
All right, Paul, thank you so much. You'll want to watch Paul's story Monday night at 11 to see where these problem cops were found and the impact they're having on cities and families. Again, that's Monday night at 11 right here on 10 TV.